Good evening, Rokon. Thank you for tuning in to Fried Chicken Review, where we talk about custom gaming products for the living card game Legend of the Five Rings, made by Fantasy Flight Games. This evening, a friend lent me this custom bid dial that you see in front of you, made by a company called Tabletop Gaming Solutions. They make custom bid dials as well as honor dials using the various 7 clans, and you can even get clans that you don't see in the game currently, such as the Mantis and Spider Clan. I recommend that you check out their Etsy store to see the quality of their products and the options that they have. Getting right into this bid dial, I find it really interesting. It's a little bit larger than what comes in the base game. So if you were to compare the face with this unpunch face cardboard token that comes with the base game, it's quite a bit larger as mentioned. There has been some review feedback from users, and they've said that they would like it to fit in their actual deck boxes and whatnot. So the designer has said that he's going to make some smaller ones. I believe they're most likely already up in the store, or you can order them and they'll be ready by the time you go to purchase them. As for the dial itself, it's made from a 3D printer, and as you can see as I zoom slightly in here, I find it's a bit rough around the edges. I don't think it's because of the designer's choice. I think it's more of a 3D printer. Now, I am a little bit naive. I haven't seen too many products from a 3D printer, but I believe just because of how you design it, it can be a little bit rough. For example, for me, I'm not a big fan of having this line here or this line, and it really pops out a little bit more than I would want. My friend that I borrowed this from was looking at potentially sanding it down so that it was a little bit smoother. Overall, though, when you're looking at it from a distance, the symbol really pops out. It's what you expect. I kind of like the idea of this. I'm not sure if I would personally go smaller. I don't mind that it doesn't fit in my deck box. I like it to be large and in charge, but it's also because if you're trying to review the numbers, as you'll see, the numbers are easy to see from here. From this side, I should mention, they're quite big, but if you're going too small, the numbers start to become harder to see. And that's been that's been a common thing I found for the custom acrylic and wooden tokens that people have been making for bid dials, is that the biggest complaint that people have had is that their opponent isn't able to see their dial without putting it directly in front of them. Another issue that you just noticed when I was going through the dial here is that I find it a little bit odd that when they were making the back of the dial here, the other part that just comes off like this, that when you look at it, all the numbers are upright like so, versus the cardboard one that comes with the game is this way. The reason why they have the star here is that I believe, and I could be wrong, is that they have the blank spot on the cardboard, and a lot of people believe that that represents a 0. I'm not sure if that's going to be something that comes out later. I think it's just a space that they had because of the design. But the reason why I go over it's a little bit disappointing that all the numbers are upright is, as you saw, if I try to go to the 5 here, real quick, and I apologize I have it like this. The 5 is actually upside down, and you would have to show your opponent like this. Obviously, your opponent is going to recognize that it's a 5 either way, but it would be nice if it was like the normal dials. This is just my Conquest one, but it would be nice if they were all upright right away so your opponents can see all the numbers instead of having it like this where the 5's upside down, the 4's upside down, the 3 is sideways, the 2 is a little bit sideways, and the 1 is the only one that actually is upright. I think further designing it, just basing it off of the cardboard, having it on an angle like this so that they all come up right side up would be fantastic. But maybe that's just my view of it, and you like it the way it is. Otherwise, the dial is kind of interesting. I like the back of the dial, even though I complained about the numbers. I think this looks nice and smooth. The magnet is actually one of the better magnets I've seen. Obviously, they're just glued in there, but it snaps on fairly easily. The dial itself is lightweight. It's not too thick. It's a little bit thicker than the cardboard if I was to compare it. Just give me a second here. So it's a little bit thicker, not too much. So the thickness is good. Again, the designers are looking at making it a little bit smaller in upcoming ones if you want, or you can still have this size. The back, I think you can get different colors, but having in just a plain back like this of black looks fine. You can get different choices of colors for the front mon, which is fantastic. I really do enjoy that you can get the mantis and the spider clan, or basically get anything custom that the designer is most likely willing to work with you. Is super cool. So if you like this dial, I recommend checking out their Etsy store, and they're also on the Facebook trade group, just to potentially purchase some of their product. It's not too expensive. Overall, I find it's in between dial. It's not my favorite dial, but I think for the price point, it's not something that I would shy away from. If you have your favorite clan, why not pick up one or two of these? Again, this has been Fire Chicken Review. Thank you for tuning in, and check out my other videos and let me know what you thought of this review.